Okay, I think we can get started. Ravindra, shall I get started?
Yes.
All right, well, good morning and good evening, everyone, and welcome to the fifth edition of AirTalks, a reverse pitching session where members of the startup ecosystem gather to hear from Carrier's business function leaders about its existing challenges, areas for startup intervention and collaboration, and the organization's way forward. If you don't already know about Carrier, we are a multinational corporation that manufactures heating, ventilation, air conditioning, refrigeration, and fire and security systems. We're a global leader in providing healthy, safe, and sustainable and intelligent building and cold chain solutions. Carrier's innovation team, iCAR, focuses on identifying innovative solutions amongst the startup ecosystem partners to collaborate, enable joint go-to-market strategies, and may even attract investments from Carrier's corporate venture arm. For this edition of AirTalks, we are connecting with Lorena Rodriguez and Sandeep Fernandes. To give you a quick overview of who they are, Lorena has been part of Carrier for nearly 2 decades, and she's currently the leader of the digital hub of Mexico. She has successfully headed multiple digital transformation and BU transformation projects across HVAC, refrigeration, and fire and security domains, positioning her as an expert on all things Carrier. Sandeep is a director with the supply chain and digital factory COE. He has a vast experience in integrating technology into traditional supply chain processes and thus unlocking new opportunities for growth and operational excellence. Enhance supply chain performance, reducing cost, and mitigating risks in the digital transformation journey is his expertise. Our moderator for the session, Mr. Ravindra Rapeti, also heads the innovation agenda at Carrier. I invite him to the platform to share more insights on the innovation initiatives and areas of collaborating with Carrier. Ravi, over to you.
Thanks, Matthew, for that. So yeah, thank you. Welcome. I think we're quite excited to have you here. And over the next 30 minutes, I think we'll have a deep dive into the digital factories strategy. And we have 2 excellent speakers who'll be discussing a lot about the work that we're doing here, as well as what opportunities lie ahead for partners like you, for startups to collaborate with us. So before I dive, I just want to quickly take you through some of the innovation engagement models that we work at Carrier. So I'm part of the Digital India Hub, which is a strong 200-member team that is quietly focused on building the next generation digital capabilities. We work on really next generation digital platform and building these platforms around the core technologies around video analytics, audio analytics, smart billing tech, Industry 4.0, digital manufacturing, digital twins, and a couple of other emerging technologies. So I think it's a very cool place to work, and we are really challenging and creating a very intelligent environment focused climate solutions for the last couple of decades so far. And we want to continue that journey and accelerate it forward. And as part of this journey, I think we have won many accolades from the industry in terms of the work, the digital work that we're doing. And especially today, I think we also have a very structured startup engagement model. So we try to scout for the relevant startups based on the problem statement sourced from our business partners, like Sandeep and Lorena here on the call today. And we validate them with the right solution fit for Carrier. And then we engage in some kind of an MVP process. And then essentially we try to measure and evaluate the MVP or a pilot that we do with a partner. And then ideally it gets into a partnership model. So I think we've been working across different business units. And Digital Factory is one such a business unit for us who've been quite active, and they're all looking to accelerate a digital transformation journey. And we've been successfully working with about 10 plus startups in different domains across different geographies. And today you'll hear, I think we already introduced Sandeep and Lorena. So let's get started. So I think maybe before I start, maybe let's do a quick robin round with Sandeep and Lorena. So maybe Sandeep and Lorena, a quick 1-minute introduction about what you do at Carrier, what's been your role, and then we can get into a conversation. Over to you, Lorena.
Yeah, thank you, Ravin. So thank you so much and everybody for attending the call. So yes, as you mentioned, so I have more than 20 years working here in Carrier. So I'm very excited because I see how the business has been growing and also has been transformed. So since that time to now, so I have been playing several roles in refrigeration, commercial, residential HVAC, and fire and security. And now I'm happy to be leading the digital hub for Mexico and Latin America. So I am working with all the COEs, with all the shared services, and obviously between hubs, we are trying to improve every day our processes. So happy to continue working with all of you guys. And obviously, yeah, COE for us are going to be a key element to grow and to transform the business as we need it. So thank you so much. Sandeep, please.
Yeah, hi all. This is Sandeep Fernandes. First of all, I want to thank all of you for making the time to come here and have this collaborative discussion. From a role point of view, I've been with Carrier for a year and a half. My role is, the COE's role is to define the target state architecture for supply chain and manufacturing across our Carrier factories. The goal is to standardize architecture and build deployment plans to scale up and build the synergies within the factories. Looking forward to this conversation.
Thanks, Sandeep, for that quick introduction. So maybe let me direct this question to Lorena. So Lorena, if you can just give us a glimpse about the current factory situation. How many factories do we have in Mexico, and what's been these what kind of maturity the factories are in, and then maybe we can take that from there.
Yeah, for sure. No, I am happy to let you know, so guys, that since when I joined 20 years ago, so we were only one factory. Then now we have 8 factories. So we have also an electronic industry here, which is the first one in Monterrey. But yeah, so we have, I can say really all the P&Ls. So we have residential HVAC, so we have 2 factories for that. We have a commercial HVAC, which is Plan B. So they are doing interesting jobs for our customers. So they are shipping directly to the end customer. So that's another, I guess, a challenge because they need to be on time when the customer needs. We have also another commercial factory, so light commercial factories. So they are also producing a lot of finished goods, and they are sending that to the distribution center in US. So basically what we produce, we ship to them, and then the distribution centers are working with the distributors to send to our end customers. And as I mentioned, so in Monterrey, we have an electronic industry, but also we have another one in fire and security. So that's in Navajo. In Navajo, we have another factory, which is part of the fire and security team. And then we have a key residential factory in Matamoros. So they are also working very hard in order to sell that product to the end customer. So the transformation that I saw, Ravin, from then to now. So first is we are working end to end. So we are not looking only for digital factory or infrastructure. So 3 years ago, when we started with the transformation, the digital transformation, when the Center of Excellence came into the picture, so we start looking on global roadmaps, which is great. So before, every business maybe will have their own plans for growth or solution to implement it. So now the good thing is having one COE lead, and then having the different heads in the different COEs working with all the businesses, that has been great. So we are, as Sandy mentioned, we are trying to standardize. Obviously, we are coming from different ERPs, we are coming from different MESs or solutions, but with a roadmap that we are working since 2 years ago in Carrier. So I believe we have improved a lot. So first, I can say the standardization of ERPs has been done, and that is going to be like a good input for the digital factory, because now we can leverage more solutions about inventory monitoring. Obviously, we have a lot of challenge in the industry about supply chain, but we are working on that. So we are looking end to end, and maybe Sandeep can explain more about that, because he is leading all these, I can say, programs. But the companies here in Monterrey, at least, we saw a lot of innovation, even though when they are new companies at sometimes, so they have 7 or 8 years old. So they are looking every day improvements. Now with the transformation to the COEs, they are looking for more standardization. They can leverage across the globe, not only Monterrey campus, so can be globally. And then I know that Digital Factory team has been doing assessments across the globe, so in order to look on the timelines and the portfolio that they are going to implement it. But I see a lot of standardization versus 20 years ago. And then obviously the possibility to leverage that application, or the scalability can be faster.
Sure. Thanks, Lorena, for that initial thoughts. So coming back to Sandeep, I think with respect to our factories, so what is your vision? How do we want to see ourselves transform, and what kind of initiatives that are ongoing to make these very digital and smart?
Yeah, Ravin. Before I answer that question, I'll quickly talk about the history. So Carrier through the last few years has done a lot of acquisitions and divestitures. So assuming that we have around 50 factories, globally, each one of them have a varied sense of digital transformation. Each one of them have technical debt, whether it be on the network side, infrastructure side, or even on the technology side. So the goal for us, very clearly, our North Star vision is to define this target architecture where we can align factories based off their heat maps, based off where they are right now, based off where their weaknesses are, where business capabilities can support them faster and quicker, provide quick business values to them. Sorry. And basically build that roadmap. So that's where the COE kicks in. That's the value we bring to the company. As part of that roadmap, it's our job to also evaluate what are some best practices in the industry, and also how we can leverage state-of-the-art technology so that by the time we deploy it, the factories are not current, but they're advanced. And so we look at low-hanging fruits, we look at long-term investments. Different examples would be supplier portal. We recently developed our own supplier portal, a collaboration tool on a low-code, no-code system. We also deployed a very quick solution to deploy for quality inline detection. And also something we're working on right now is PLC integration. So we have varied levels of Industry 4.0 capabilities. All of them are based off specific architecture at the factories. And as much as we are trying to deploy standard architecture, one of our challenges, of course, is they all have non-standard. So how can we deploy, and this is something for the folks on the call, how can we deploy capabilities that are loosely coupled, like Lego blocks, regardless of the technology, regardless of the platform? We are able to, bring this to our table, deploy it with minimal disruption, and of course achieve standardization across the board. So imagine 50 factories at Carrier having having similar Industry 4.0 capabilities, but using different vendors to achieve the same or similar capabilities. Different SaaS platforms, different licensing models, different analytics layers, all of it right across the board, and that's a nightmare for us to work with. So the COE brings a lot of value in those work streams.
Yeah, thanks, Sandeep, for that introduction. Can you also throw some light on some of the innovation initiatives that have been ongoing or in our current factories today? So where do you see, you mentioned about low-hanging fruits. So can you just throw some light on one or two use cases that have been ongoing and in our factories today?
Yeah. I mean, the three that I just mentioned, supply portal is something that we adopted on a low-code platform. Quality inline detection, where we leverage machine learning and AI to look at work instructions, operator work instructions, and align the alert the supervisor if a work instruction is not followed according to the sequence. Capabilities, tack time on there as well, and different capabilities. And then something else that we see as a very low-hanging fruit is how can we integrate our PLCs? Sorry. How can we integrate our PLCs and gather those insights and data for future use cases, whether it be prognostics, predictive maintenance, and just future capabilities to ensure that we always have uptime.
Got it. Thanks, Sandeep, for that. So coming back to Lorena, so if you can just throw some light on some of this computer vision capabilities that we are looking at from partners to help us, and what are some use cases that we can deploy them in our factories today, and maybe you can throw some light on that, and what is the problem statement we're trying to solve, and how can companies, partners who are joining this call can help us in that direction.
Yeah, for sure, Ravin. Thank you. That's a very good question. So, as I mentioned, so currently, yeah, we are having good solutions, but as Sandeep said, so it's more like some reactions when the issues or the production is suffering those challenges. So we clearly have very good equipment. For example, we have good testers in all the factories. So, but sometimes they are not connected. Or we have vision system, but they are only taking at the end the picture, and we are not having reactions on time. So what we want to do is be more preventive. Obviously, we are suffering a lot with the changeover. Some of the factories has a long changeover when they are changing from one product to another one. So there are several mistakes that the people can do it, because even though when we have vision systems and we prepare that them, they need to be pre-configured manually by the team. So the thing here is we can be more smart and see how from the ERP we can extract information, send to the MES, and then the MES can do those checks for us. And obviously, if we can make something, since, for example, right now we are struggling a lot with some components placed in a wrong manner, or they are assembly with wrong components because they are very similar and obviously difficult to be readable by the human. So things like that is what maybe I am looking to see how we can work with the partners, the startups, and collaboration. Because right now, even though when we have those equipment, we have a lot of data, because all the units that we are producing are have traceability. The issue here is we are not taking decisions on time. So the idea is, based on the KPIs that we are extracting, take decisions, obviously help to the operators in this case, or for the people in the floor, which is in charge of those equipments, to see more smart and share in an automatic way, establish setup that they can be quicker, but obviously with more accuracy. Because right now, obviously we are having the traceability of quality. So we still, even though when we improve scrap or warranties, we have more things to do. And maybe there are, if we take, for example, in the vision case, we take some pictures, maybe we can identify more things that right now we don't know. They are going to come, but they could be potential issues in the future. So I believe we can be more predictive rather than reactive. So vision is a very good equipment that we can use not only in the electronic industry, it's also can be used in other HVAC factories or refrigeration. So I believe we need to do a good POC to have connectivity, see what are the results so we can see it. And as soon as the manufacturing team and the production team can see the results in a POC, I am pretty sure they are going to have more ideas, because they know all the pain points that they have right now, and maybe they are solving manually, or they are solving with extra work that now maybe we can replace by artificial intelligence or machine learning or vision systems. So that's why we are trying to look on that. But I want to clarify it. It's not only the production area, so we can work since the inbound logistic warehouse to identify those type of things. So I believe we can be more productive looking on those cases as well. So this is part of what I am looking, Ravin, for the vision, in this case, vision analytics or vision improvements.
Sure. Thanks, Lorena. So everyone, if you have any specific questions, please do type in the chat. I think I'm getting few Q&A questions from the participants, but feel free to put in your question. We'll just take it up in the Q&A section in a couple of minutes. So I think before that, I just have one question to Sandeep. So in terms of our digital factory, so what are 2-3 areas that you really want to prioritize for next year? And these are the 2 use cases I want to track. And if you have a solution right around it, I think we definitely want to meet these partners. So what would be your 1 or 2 priorities for next year, going into next year? I think and how can these partners can collaborate with us on those use cases?
So right now, Ravin, Gen AI is the buzz, right? Everything we hear is Gen AI. And so one of the things we'd like to do is, does it make sense for us to incorporate Gen AI into our products? Is there some quick capability that allows us to do that? Right? The other thing that we look at is since each factory is different in terms of its architecture, can we develop some capability that allows us to extract really good business value? Sorry. And one of our constraints is our factories have a lot of initiatives going on right now. There's a lot of strategy, there's a lot of business direction going on, and so one of the quick wins for us is, can we deploy a transformation that does not disrupt the factory operations, that does not require downtime? If that's possible, that's something that really would help us in engaging a particular technology, a particular transformation. The other criteria I would say is there a solution that the vendor has that is loosely coupled? I talked about Lego blocks in the beginning, and I'll just touch on it as well. For example, we have a Carrier.io platform. It's a platform. It's a next-gen platform that taps into some of our products like Abound and Links. These are products that we ourselves sell to our end customers as part of our models. The goal, for example, is to use that platform for our factories as well. So right now it's customer facing, but it has all the bells and whistles. It has all the technologies in there. And so, for example, we're connecting PLCs to our, we're integrating our PLC data. Can we use a SCADA software and then pipe it to the Carrier.io platform, where we have all the tools to understand the outliers and upper and lower control limits, where we can integrate to ServiceNow, for example. But that's where I think we start looking. Can the solutions that the vendors offer, can we pick exactly what we need from that capability? And an example is we were looking at attaching temperature sensors, voltage, current, magnetic flux sensors as part of modules, on our shop floor. And then we wanted to take this data to the cloud. We looked at some startups, and the startups had very tightly connected coupled solutions with their proprietary software. And so that was one of our questions. Can we just leverage your hardware? Initially, it was a no. And so, we tabled that conversation. But is this something that, we could tap into when we engage a vendor? Can we leverage, your solution based on the particular modules or capabilities? Those are some wins for us, because we're only paying for what we need, because we have redundant capabilities or similar capabilities, internally, and we're making the best of it. We're scaling it, and that's something that would really help. So, yeah, those are things, Ravin, I would say would really help based off the factory heat maps, based on the factory capabilities.
Sure. Thanks, Sandeep, for that insights into the top through priorities for you. And yeah, just to set the context to everyone on the call, Carrier.io is our Carrier in-house built IoT platform that integrates all our equipment data, and then we're trying to scale up, use that as a IoT platform for our digital factories in the near future. So all the data that we can collect will directly flow into our IoT platform and our future architecture. So I think it's really good if we have a uncoupled solution that can really go well, that fits into our architecture model. Okay, I think we do have a couple of questions. So maybe I'll just take these one by one in the order for now. And let's, I think the first question we have is from Suresh. And then the question was, is there a use case under consideration or development for a worker's safety within a factory? whether are they wearing a vest or a mask, especially in these scenarios. So what's your strategy on the worker safety, and are we doing anything in that front on video analytics? I'm assuming.
We are exploring options where we can look at camera feeds and determine use cases for this. This is something that we're just exploring right now. There isn't a need from the factory, but from a COE point of view, this is something that we are exploring.
Yeah, sure. Suresh, I think please do write to us about your offerings. We'll definitely take a look at it, and then we will come back to you if there's any alignment, if the use case that we can explore. And,
sure. Thanks, Ravin. Thank you.
Sure. And the next question is from Debatri. Hello, can you shed some light on how AR, VR can play in your digitalization process for carrier?
On the AR VR side, it has sort of taken a backseat. The engineering teams use these capabilities more than what we are using. So right now, I would say AR VR is more it's a lower priority to us.
Okay, sure. I think we have a next question from Christian, who is the COE of Mega AI. I think there's a couple of questions. Maybe Lorena or Sandeep just pick up which one is, or you can, which are very apt for you. Where do we stand on data strategy? Are we able to pull data from machines from different factories? Once the data is available, what insights we are generating with or without AI, ML? Yeah, maybe I'll pause there. I think there's another question as well. So
yeah, if you want, I can take that. Sorry, Sandeep. Yeah, and then you can go. But because we have been exploring how we can consolidate information for many factories. So right now we can have challenge to extract all the data that we have in each factory and then consolidate for an executive level, right? But this year has been done a very good project, which is the project operation visibility. So at least we have some KPIs standard. And then we have a platform where they have been reporting information. They are connected with certain integration between the ERP and this new platform. For sure, maybe we can do more analytics, I can say it in a better way. But at this time, at least we can have a visibility across carrier BUs. This just started this year, but as I mentioned, so the ERP standardization that we are doing together with the COE ERP is helping us, because before, if we want to extract information from more than 100 ERPs, was crazy. So that's why a lot of business unit doesn't have the capability to share or to integrate that information with the platform for analytics. But right now it's improving. So also with the ERP rationalization, it's going to improve. But yeah, so we have good things right now, but I believe we can improve that as well, because we are just in that journey in the beginning of the journey. Sandeep, I'm not sure you want to complement.
Yeah, Christian, I would say some of our factories have these capabilities. For example, a factory in Indy has ignition connected to the PLCs, and it has these beautiful, nice dashboards and TVs. You can see the whole assembly line. You can see takt time, any delay or time that goes past the takt time. You see a color change. It gives these insights. But we do want to take it to a different level. We do want to integrate it to ServiceNow. We want to see what are the exception tags coming out of it. Can we build some insights, root causes? Can we predict? Can we, if a PLC goes down, before we find out later during the manufacturing cycle, can we automatically cut a ticket to the right controls folks? So that's a strategy that we've just kicked off. Sorry, internally. And we definitely want to expand. And apart from the data from the PLCs, we're also looking about the temperature modules that I was just referring to, temperature, magnetic flux. Is there a loosely coupled hardware that we can use with industrial glue and put it on our equipment and be able to tap into that data and then build those correlations? Again, the carrier.io is our standard. But we do want to see what is out there, what's capable. Loosely coupled is very important for us. On the second question, the data, what insights are we generating? So right now we are not generating any data. The data isn't going to carrier.io. That's a new initiative that the team has kicked off a couple of months ago. Once we have the data in the carrier.io platform, we will definitely start building insights, and that data will tell us, and that whole process will tell us, is this something that we want to do internally? Is it easy for us to do? Can we integrate this data with the MESs and any other factory transformation, or should we just find something online like a SaaS provider? So that will give us enough data, business value to see how we can scale these capabilities. On the
Sure. Yes.
on the sustainability goals, we have Enablon right now that's basically trapping all the data for all our utilities and carbon emissions. I am working with our executives to build a roadmap to incorporate AI into this. Can we incorporate AI into all these capabilities? These are right now very aspirational, but we're open to understanding what are some use cases that we can use. Again, our criteria is very simple: easy, low-hanging fruit, loosely coupled, minimal disruption to our operations.
Thanks, Sandeep. Yeah, I think the next question is from Dr. David. For Lorena, maybe for manufacturing operations and your goal of creating nearly visibility of condition-based models and decision-making capability of your manufacturing assets, are you looking for open architecture sensing protocols like MQ2D, Modbus? Definitely. What about REST API and other API tools to pull the data on third-party systems into either carrier-owned tools?
Yeah, no, for sure. So we are open to evaluate obviously different solutions, but something that Sandeep mentioned at the beginning is important for us. So it's depending on which factory we are looking for, because some of them has a lot of legacy equipment, so some of them are not connected to the network because obviously they are not capable to be as an operation system available that can be connected. So this is something that we need to evaluate it. So the use cases should be work by BU. And obviously at the end, we need to evaluate what are the priority. So based on the priority that we have in our business for operations, plus what we have in digital as I can say initiatives so for digital transformation. So we need to emphasize with the business if they are obviously open to adopt that, because right now sometimes when we try to make some automation, so they said, well, but I need to do this in the manufacturing equipment and this is costing too much money. So then we need to plan, not for this year, we can plan for 2 years or whatever. So yeah, it's depending on which factory is, which is the use case and the current state of the infrastructure and technology that we have there. So, but yeah, we are open, yeah, and obviously, yes, we are looking for protocols that can be easy to implement, easy to maintain, and obviously that doesn't need a lot of digital or technical support, because as soon as we implement it, the idea is that this can be sustainable by itself, right? So we cannot compromise and say, oh yeah, the digital team is going to take 4 years the support. So that we want to do is obviously has sustainable solutions that are cheaper and as Sandeep mentioned, with minimal disruption in the operation. So that's our main strategy here.
Thanks, Lorena, for that. I think I have another question regarding Carrier.io. Is Carrier.io your manufacturing data lake? Are you open for a cloud-based IoT platform to pull data from PLCs and push it to Carrier.io?
Yes, so right now the Carrier.io has IoT data from our HVACs that are with our customers. And all of the data is sourced into the Carrier.io and insights are being provided to our customers as part of that model. And the goal is exactly that. Can we turn that Carrier.io platform internally and reuse the same insights and reuse the same platform for that our customers are enjoying?
Got it.
Absolutely. That's exactly the idea.
I think we have another follow-up question from Prasoon Verma. So yeah, how about other data sets and analysis as self-serve option? How is adoption of any of the data tools across business, especially non-technical?
So
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lorena.
No, go ahead.
From a carrier point of view, we have a dedicated data and integration COE team. Their entire goal is just that, replicate transactional data to a Snowflake layer, and then pass it through a common data model, and then allow self-service for our business operations users to do self-service. On the IoT side, we don't have a full-fledged strategy yet. Right now, we're just doing a POC internally to see the data, and we want to see how we can consume it. What are the insights? What's the value? And once we do that, once we can build these models, once we can integrate to ServiceNow, we definitely want to, scale up. And that's where we want to pause and say, well, should we be doing this internally, or should we look at other products in the market? We do have the technical know-how. We do have the technical analysts, the developers in-house as well. So any tool that we leverage, we do want to see how we can take over, how we can take over deployment of those solutions internally, right? So we do the POC, we do a pilot once we agree on the business case. But we do want to take over the deployments internally and add it to our architecture, add it to our standardized core systems, etc.
Got it. Thank you. I think I do have another question around what MES solutions you currently work with, and how is the data stack integrity today? I'm assuming there's no data lake today and looking for a partner to build this for you.
We do have a data lake. The analytics COE has a data lake, and we also have a data hub. The data hub is real-time. Data lake is batched based on the use cases and the KPIs requested. Sorry. The analytics team basically supports our business users. But was that the question?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it answers that. Okay. I think the next one is there a possibility of migrating old tech stack to latest tech stack? Are you guys displaying the data in any kind of dashboard for visualization today?
So each individual factory, it's an interesting question. So based on the acquisitions, based on the shadow IT at different factories, especially in China, Asia, we're seeing some really cool dashboards. I mean, our executives have been swept away with the beautiful dashboards that are available at the factory. However, beneath the layers, we're finding, as we peel the layers, we're finding that some of the data is not consistent. There are discrepancies, etc. So visually, cosmetic in terms of cosmetics, it's beautiful, but in terms of functionally, we see, because I say that because our team goes to evaluate the solution and to see if we can add it to our target architecture, and we see that it's not a full-fledged solution. There's a lot of manual interaction, spreadsheets being uploaded on a regular basis, and of course, the dashboards are really pretty. We do want to define, once we do have that common data model and that analytics layer going, at a factory level, we are working to strategize what are those KPIs each factory would want to see on the shop floor. Once we do that, we do want to put it on TVs. Right now, each factory has their own KPIs. Each of those KPIs have different definitions, and basically it's non-standard, right? So our executives would like a single layer to compare each factory, to compare each metric. And so we're working closely with the analytics team, the data team, the integration team, the ERP team to deploy those standardized sets.
And I believe if I can complement what Sandeep said, Ravin, so obviously here is the business is playing very good role. Because we can suggest, we can try to standardize and extract the information, but we need to be aligned with the business. So because sometimes, as Sandeep mentioned, they are doing something manual that we need to catch. If it's directly to the system, it's not going to be matching with the results. So it's a combination between digital and obviously business areas, adoption and collaboration.
Got it. Thanks, Lorena and Sandeep, for that answer. And I think I have another question which came in my private chat. It's like, we are a software-based solution working on analytics with factories globally with other customers. We do deployments remotely for specific use cases. Would we be eligible to offer our solutions in North America region, or are you looking for a local player for these opportunities? So is there a boundary of the partner network, or are we open?
No, not at all. I mean, that's a question for the analytics COE, because it falls in their space. But as far as I know, no, absolutely not. Especially on the analytics side, it doesn't require personal engagement. So I think that should be fine. I think low cost is the key here. Low cost and of course the right tech.
Low cost and good, yes, good quality. So it's the important thing.
So yeah, guys, I mean, irrespective of your location, I think as long, I think we do have factories in 50 plus countries, and I think you can reach out to us and we'll try to figure out where the solution could fit in. Because Sandeep mentioned, the majority of these 50 plus factories are different in different geographies, and we need different solutions for different factories at scale to really accelerate our transformation journey. And I think I'll take one last question before I leave, before we can close out. What type of 3D CAD plans do you have, factors and equipment?
So there's an automation team that owns this, the 3D automation and engineering. So I wouldn't be the right person to answer that question.
Yes, yeah. Just to add on to that, Brenda, I think within Carrier, they're broadly divided into engineering and digital. So we work in collaboration. I think the engineering team would definitely have a lot of 3D designs of our equipment inside, and also of the equipment that we manufacture. So yeah, if there's any specific question you have in mind, please do write to us. I think we'll try to address that query offline. And I think there was one question on who owns the IP of the POCs if we were to partner with Carrier for any use case implementation.
Yeah, the IP would belong to the startup, unless of course we specifically call out the technology and the business process and work with you. I wouldn't think that I would think that you would own the IP and we would license your solution.
Absolutely. I think just to add on, I think in all our engagements, we clearly define what the success criteria would look like for a POC or a pilot. And we do have a strong business alignment to it, and also some kind of a scale-up plan if we meet our criteria. And yeah, it will be a regular vendor model. And we do have an opportunity to connect with our Carrier Ventures team, and then we can have that conversation at a much more strategic level based on how this MVP or a pilot goes. So I hope that answers your question. But then, yeah, I think you've been really good audience. Thank you so much for your time. And I think we do leave our email address to reach out for us for more questions, so that if there's any queries which are unanswered yet, I think we do expect to respond you back on these queries. And if you have a relevant solution that is very much aligned to what we're looking at, please do reach out to us, and we'll have another broader discussion with Sandeep and Lorena and the team to really understand where your solution can fit into our ecosystem. But with that, I think thanks for being a great audience and very interesting questions. Maybe I'll leave our last final thoughts with Lorena and Sandeep, and we can close the call. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you so much that you mentioned. So there were a few minutes. I believe we need more because it's a very interesting topic. But yeah, so I would like to appreciate it that you joined. And really, we are able to see how we can work together. But yes, so thank you for that. And thank you, Sandeep, for helping me during this conversation.
Yeah, I would say no. We definitely look forward to working, with some vendors, getting some ideas, getting some insights. As we contribute, we learn a lot. So it's definitely bi-directional as well. Our data is not capable at times. Our data is not replicated at times. There are some hooks that your transformations need. We may not have it. You may support GCP. GCP is not a standard vendor for us. And then there's hops, for example, from GCP to AWS, who is our approved vendor. So all these things would add up to the complexity and latency of the solution, how much edge gateway processing your tools do, and all of that. So that's something that for all of you to consider is what are some capabilities. In China, for example, we have some factories that have very low network pipelines. We went live with a SaaS solution for supply chain, and we had issues on go live because we didn't know that between 9 and 11 there was massive traffic going on, and so lessons learned from our side. We do want to have those practices. Sorry, and learn from you folks as well. Thank you all for your time today.
Thank you all. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. And then,
Thanks.
yeah, we'll try to reach out.
Have a
Thank
good day.
you.
Yeah.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good day, guys. Thank you so much.
You too. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.